welcome to this episode of Coffee and Counsel, in which we will be taking a whistle-stop tour of the legislative changes coming into force throughout 2024. The Employment Rights Amendment, Revocation and Transitional Provision Regulations 2023 will take effect on the 1st of January 2024 and will make changes to record-keeping requirements, holidays and TUPE. The Act will simplify record-keeping requirements under the Working Time Regulations so that employers are required to keep accurate records and no longer a full record of all daily hours worked as is currently required. The Act will also change rules on holiday pay and in particular accrual calculations, holiday pay calculations, rules on carryover of leave from one holiday year to the next, and it will also permit rolled up holiday pay for leave years starting after the 1st of April 2024. TUPE will be amended to remove the requirement to elect employee representatives for employers with fewer than 50 employees and also for employers involved in a transfer of fewer than 10 employees, regardless of the size of the employer. The new rules will apply to transfers taking place on or after the 1st of July 2024. The national living wage and the national minimum wage will increase on the 1st of April 2024. The national living wage, which applies to individuals aged 23 and over, will be extended to those aged over 21 years old and will increase to £11.44 per hour. The national minimum wage will increase to £8.60 per hour, and the rate for those under 18 and for apprentices will increase to £6.40 per hour. The Carers Leave Act 2023 will come into force on the 6th of April 2024. It will introduce a new day one right for employees to take up to 1 week's unpaid carers leave in any 12-month period to provide or arrange care for a dependent with a long-term care need. The Protection from Redundancy, Pregnancy and Family Leave Act 2023 is expected to come into force from the 6th of April 2024. The Act will extend the right to be offered first refusal of a suitable alternative vacancy in a redundancy situation for pregnant women. The protection will be extended to cover those returning from adoption and shared parental leave. Protection will apply during pregnancy and for 18 months after the birth of a child, or 18 months after the placement of a child for those taking adoption or shared parental leave. The Employment Allocation of Tips Act 2023 is expected to come into force in May 2024. Under the Act, employers will have a duty to ensure that all qualifying tips are allocated fairly to workers, which includes agency workers, and employers will be required to make payments in full no later than the end of the month following the month in which the qualifying tip was paid by the customer. The Employment Relations Flexible Working Act 2023 is expected to come into force in July 2024 and will make changes to the right to request flexible working. Employees will be allowed to make 2 flexible working requests in any 12-month period, which is up from the current limit of 1 request. Employees will not be required to explain what the effects of their requested change may have on the employer as part of their request. Employers will be obliged to consult with employees about their requests before making a decision whether to accept or reject it. Employers will also be required to make a decision within 2 months of receiving the request unless they agree a longer period with the employee, which is down from the current time limit of 3 months. The Workers' Predictable Terms and Conditions Act 2023 is expected to come into force in September 2024. The Act will give workers and agency workers with 26 weeks service the right to request more predictable terms and conditions of work, where there is a lack of predictability to their current working pattern. Workers will be allowed to make 2 requests in any 12-month period, and the employer will only be able to reject the request on limited statutory grounds. The Workers' Protection Amendment of Equality Act 2010, Act 2023, is expected to come into force in October 2024. The Act will introduce a duty on employers to take reasonable steps to prevent sexual harassment of their employees. It will also give employment tribunals the power to uplift compensation for sexual harassment by up to 25% where the employer is found to have breached the new duty to prevent sexual harassment in the workplace. If you have any queries about these changes, please do not hesitate to get in touch. Thank you.